Hey y'all, it's time for appetizers and get-togethers for the holidays, and I'm making everyone's favorite for the fall, and that's apple pie, pecan pie, and pumpkin pie. I'm not a big pumpkin pie fan, but a lot of people are. So I'm going to show you how to make individual pies in our mini muffin pan, where you can use a full pie if you want to with this recipe, or also the larger muffin tin. So I've already got started so it wouldn't take so long, but normally I'll just buy the refrigerated pie crust, but I found these little mini pie crusts, and Pillsbury does good, so I make my own pie crust. So I thought I would just show you these. I was really expecting them by the picture to be small enough for the mini pan, but I've got one rolled out, and I'll tilt this down in a minute so you can see it a little better. The one that's in here is the perfect size if you're doing a large muffin pan. I've already cut the middle of that out, but I'll show you. I'm gonna roll another one out. But the mini pie shells, as they are perfect for this size, just an original 12 count muffin pan. I call them cupcake pans. Okay, so what I have done is already rolled out 2 of these, and I'm not a wasteful person, so there's 7 of those, and I used this little 2.5 inch cutter, and I'll tilt you down now. So I had to cut them to fit my mini pan. So I've got them already in here, and the cuts that I made, I just kneaded those in a little bit of flour and used our roller, pastry roller, and rolled it back out, and I got more cuts out of them. So then what I do, you can just take your fingers and push it down, but I like using something like a little Tart Shaper, and I just press them down. So I wanted to show you all these cuts that I had to cut away, and I'll show you, you'll get wasteful pieces also if you're doing them in a full-size pan. But you can also take those other pieces and cut some cute little designs to put on top of your pies, and I might try to do that. I'm not very talented and crafty when it comes to decorating. I'm sorry if y'all couldn't see that. There we go. But I will try to make some little cutouts for the tops of these pies. Okay, so now I have got my 24 pie shells ready to go. And let me move this out of the way, and I'll go ahead, because I am going to do some more, I'll go ahead and roll one of these out and show you. So you can see how it's got those perforations in it, and that's the full size of the mini pie shells. Now, because I'm using our pastry mat and I don't want to use a sharp knife, I just took our nylon knife, and you could probably, they said you can pull them apart with your fingers, but dough is fragile to me, and I didn't want to risk it. So I just took my nylon knife and cut it apart. So this is the size that you get. And again, it would be perfect for our larger muffin pan. And I'm going to do some in here in the larger muffin pan too. So that's why I went ahead and cut that out. But when you do cut all these out, you'll still get a lot of these little strips. And that's what I'm saying, that you can take and make cute little designs if you want to lay on top, or just to bake and put on top in a cute little shape on top of your mini pies. Okay, so I'm going to try to gracefully move this out of the way and then show you the good part, and that is how to fill all these pies up. Y'all say it, help me Jesus. All right. Woo, I did it. I may have flour all over me, but that's okay. I always put a little bit of flour out on the pastry mat, just because that dough, I'm about to lose y'all on the tripod. Just because that it may fall. If this falls, I'll be all right, but I'll come back. My tripod's old and I gotta get a new one. Okay, so now the fun part. I bought pure pumpkin, and again, I will share these recipes with you. And this recipe that I'm going to share with you will make a full pumpkin pie if you want to, or it'll make 24 individual pies. I've also got my favorite pecan pie, and I've got this mixture. And you know, when the holidays come, especially Thanksgiving, it's always hard to get everything baked at one time. You can bake these ahead, or if you want to bake them the day of, go ahead and mix your stuff. The glass prep bowl has a lid, and you can put it in the refrigerator. You know, I love my silicone prep bowls. They have lids, so you can easily go ahead and mix those up and have them ready to fill your pie shells the next day. Now for my apple pie, I'm cheating. I'm not making my own. I'm just buying the apple pie filling in the can, but I'm going to doctor it up just a little bit using the manual food processor. This has a 3-level blade that is very sharp. I have cut my finger on this in washing dishes. I forgot it was in there, so I just stuck my hand in there and sliced my finger open. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit, let me get a knife. A little bit of these, you know, these apples come in big, big chunks. So I'm just going to kind of take my knife and put a little bit of these chunks in here and kind of cut them in half as I'm going. Because for these mini pies, I don't need big bites. I love making these in my little apple fritters too. And I chop them up for that also. I don't know how much I need, but I'm gonna just put a little bit more in here. The apple is my husband's favorite, so I'll probably do some of those apple fritters for him if I have a lot of leftover apple. Okay, so now I'm going to take a tablespoon of sugar and put in here, and a tablespoon of cinnamon. Pampered Chef only sells this cinnamon in the fall. I wish they sold it all year round. And I always stock up on it in the fall because, oh my goodness, it's delicious. It's got me spoiled. Okay. So now I'm going to just put the lid on. And you just press this little button to release the handle. Press away. Get your arm workout. The finer, or the more you press, the finer those chops are going to be. Y'all look. I think I'm going to need a little more apple in that, but I'll do that off camera so I won't keep you on forever. And this also comes with the lid. That's the lid for my bowl. So if you want to do this the night ahead, I love making egg salad and chicken salad, things like that. I'm going to eat all week in here. Put all the ingredients in there and mix it up. Take my blade out, and then I've got it in the refrigerator in the same bowl to eat off of all week. All right, so now the fun part begins. I've got my oven preheated at 350, and they will all bake together. I'm going to do, in this example, I'll do 8 of each. I'll do 8 pumpkin, 8 pecan, and I'm just stirring my mixture up again, y'all, and 8 apple. So it's so cute, and I'll come back on when they're done and show you. I'll put an apple. This is the small stainless steel scoop, which is 1 tablespoon. And that's about all you want. I got a clean towel so I could wipe out this scoop and use it for my other ones. Okay, and now I will take a tablespoon of the pecan mixture. I'll come down here and I'll show you those. I'll wipe this again, and then I'll do a pumpkin. Let's see. Pumpkin to go in the middle. My brother loves pumpkin pie, so he will like these. All right. So now I have pecan, and I'll do these 2 rows. I'll finish filling them up, and I'll take pictures. Pumpkin and apple. And I'm going to put a little more apple in there and finish doing that. So I'll take a picture when I have it all filled up, and after they bake, I'll come back on and show you what they look like. Stay tuned. Okay, y'all, they are done, and I've let the pan cool enough for me to touch. I did try to bake some scraps pieces to put on top, and I am not very good at decorating. There's the pecan, the pumpkin. I try to do a little heart, and then the apple. So decorating is not that's one thing I cannot do. And my daughters are both creative. I'm not when it comes to decorating. So I wanted to show you, I've got another pan. I have 2 of these pans, so I've got another pan full of these in the oven. And I like to take them to parties or just keep them stored at home in my rectangular cool and serve. So it has a lid that fits nicely under the bottom. So if you're at work or parties, your lid doesn't get lost or broken. It has a tray inside that I'm going to take out, but that's typically where you would have your food if you're serving it on top of these trays. I keep these freezer pucks is what they're called. I keep them in my freezer all the time. So when I'm ready for them, I don't have to think, oh God, I got to freeze them. So they're in the freezer all the time and stay cold. And I don't need these pies to stay cold, but if I did, they would be under here and keep them cold for 4 to 6 hours. So I'm going to take that inside tray out just because the bottom has a little more room. So when I do cupcakes, y'all, I want you to see how cute that crust is. When I do cupcakes or pies, big or small, I like to take them and put them in this. It's got a clear see-through design, so your guests can easily see with the lid on or through the sides what is in there. And see, I did put a little bit, excuse me, of butter in the bottom of these pans just to be safe because I was using this pie crust. I put one of those little decorative stems, kind of make it look like the top of a pumpkin. That's about as crafty as I get. And I did try to cut out a little heart shape, y'all, but I can hear you laughing. It's pitiful, I know. But aren't they cute? And just the perfect little bite-sized pies. And I'll take a few apple. I put one of those stems in the top of my apple too. That's gonna be my husband's favorite. And then I just cut a few pieces with a crinkle cutter to give it a cute little design, kind of like a lattice topping. But you may be more creative than I am, but honestly, I don't think they need any creativity added to them because they're just perfect little bite-sized pies as they are. So I thank you so much for watching, and I'll share the recipes for each version in the comments of this video. And again, the recipe that I'm going to share with you will make one big full pie or 24 of the same in the little mini pie shells. So be prepared to cut that recipe in half if you don't want to make as many as I'm doing or make a big pie. So thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a great night. Bye-bye. I've got all of them out and in that rectangular cool and serve, so I wanted you to see how it holds all of them, and there's plenty of room left if you wanted to get more in there, just slide them closer together. But I love the clear design. You can see what I'm talking about. They can see all the way through, and then even with the lid on, they can still see through from the sides and the top. I just love all of the cool and serve trays, but the rectangular cool and serve is one of my favorites. So it's almost time to get the next batch out of the oven. I had enough apple to do a third batch, and it's gonna be my husband's favorite. So I used the silicone prep bowl and made one of my icing recipes, and I'll share that with you too. And I love this bowl because I can just squeeze it, and I just laid it on the pastry mat. That's the only thing I hadn't washed yet. And I just drizzled it over the tops of them after they cooled. So they get a little bit of that nice icing in every bite. Yum, yum.